Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah, no problem.
But, okay, we can talk, Talla. I mean,
Okay,
we could go
I'm gonna file my nails. I gotta go to bed anyways. I'm just going to bed. Night, Talla.
good night. Sleep good.
You want to stay, guys? I gotta go to
I don't like
bed.
walking
I've been
like this.
mechanics out for an hour and a drop of makeup on. I think I'm gonna die soon. Why am I so pale?
I can sit here and say what I don't want it to look like, but it obviously is gonna bother me because I care. I know that it looks bad to you. I know it looks bad to you, and I see where you're coming from. Because I could say the same thing, and I could think the same thing. But because when I think I know someone, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But you've always been feeling something with me, and I don't know why. But I see why. I see why it looks bad. I don't want you to think it looks bad because we were friends, or we're supposed to be friends. And I think you would know me better. Yeah, we don't know each other 100%, but I know that I don't need to do anything like that, and if I wanted to do anything like that, I could have been the one coming in between guys, but I don't need to do that. That's just not me as a person. But I don't want you to come at me and call me. I mean, you can talk to Liza like that, but don't talk to me like that because we're friends, and that's not how friends are supposed to talk. And I know what you're saying, and it looks bad. I get that. But I wish you didn't see like that because I don't see like that. And if you did say that, then pull me aside and say that. And if I flirt, then I do a shitty job of knowing it because
you flirt,
whatever.
but I'm fine with that. If you flirt, I'm fine with that.
Okay, well, I don't know that I flirt, but okay.
If you flirt, I'm fine with that. I'm very flirty.
I say I'm joking. I say it's more like joking.
I know because we're very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
We are. But you just have to know when you're crossing the line.
Okay, yeah, I know that.
And
I'm 26.
Okay, but you crossed the line and you have to know that you did that then.
Okay, and I see that, and I know, I see that. But I wish that you didn't look at it like that, because if you didn't look like that, then it wouldn't be crossing the line to you, right?
It's just, this is how I feel. I honestly feel that I'm in the predicament that I am because of you and Alec. And let me tell you why. I knew 100% what this house wanted, with no doubt, to put AJ and Talla up and get rid of Talla. I knew that, listen, 100%. And it would have been, the house agrees, I would have had no blood on my hands. And
probably until the week after it.
Well, eventually I would get blood on my hands, yes. But I would have, at that moment, I wouldn't have gotten blood on my hands. Okay. And because of our friendship, no, we don't know each other 100%, but we've been together every day for almost 40 days, and I know enough about you to know that I like you.
I know. And I agree.
Okay, so I was willing to put that blood on my hands, hoping that my showmance and the people that I trust vote the way that I wanted.
Exactly, and that got thrown back in my face.
So then I put AJ and Andrew on the block. I had bigger plans.
Fell apart.
There was no POV. It fell apart, but I was hoping, you guys all saw the tape of me and my thoughts, vote with what will be best for not only my game.
You also said that Andrew was your target, but I didn't hear you say that, but that's what apparently
and I didn't remember, but obviously I knew I said AJ was a pawn, so I guess that automatically makes Andrew the target. So the fact that I fucked myself over that way, I was hoping, okay, just get Andrew out, if that's the case. Like, you know what I mean? Just
you thought that was gonna happen.
And
I thought that was gonna happen.
And Alec didn't vote my way.
And that
fucked me over. So this is why I feel
like you're mad because you could have got rid of me, but it sounds bad to say because I'm glad that you didn't, but I feel like
I feel like I'm in this predicament, and I look at two people and I see, this is why I'm in the predicament. Talla, because out of I put my friendship over the game.
Yeah.
Talla, that's why I blame her, and then Alec, because I trusted in him.
It wasn't my fault that I did that. That was you did, you know what I mean?
No, I know. Because I said because I put my
exactly. And
feelings,
not a lot of people do that.
And I'm saying because I put my feelings before the game, that's why I blame Talla. That's just how I feel. And then I blame Alec because I trusted in his word. Yeah. And I trusted in him to vote. Mainly Alec.
Yeah, I know.
Alec, because I'm in a showmance with Alec, to vote my way. Then when all this goes down, I'm pissed off at Alec. We talk here for an hour, and I
said the same thing to him. And both you guys, I felt like I was your counselor.
Exactly.
And I didn't mind it because you guys are both my friends.
Yeah, and I explained to you how I felt, and I was hurt.
All I said was the same things that I've been saying to him.
Hurt, betrayed, blah blah blah.
Which makes sense.
Obviously, I do have feelings for Alec.
I know.
Is it love, where we're gonna get married after this, or you know,
You
this
can't
and
think like
that.
that in this game.
I'm not taking it to that level.
No.
I'm just saying at this moment in this time, I have enough feelings where I could be in a showmance with
I
him.
know.
And I explain all that to
You
you.
couldn't be one.
Then, you know, we're in this fight. Then we patch things up, but we figure it's best if we act like we are not in a showmance anymore, because guess what? There's still a POV. Andrew's still head of household. Alec is still a threat. And if any
Alec's a threat?
Alec, he's a physical and mental threat.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Emmett's a physical threat. Emmett and Alec are the two
Biggest,
biggest
strongest
threats.
guys.
So we know Andrew has a vendetta and he wants to put Topaz and Gary on the block. Guess what? If Gary wins POV, who's going to go up on the block? Either Emmett, and Alec felt like, or him. It could have been a toss-up between the two.
But then I heard you guys were saying you guys were throwing on men, and that's why I've been disappointed.
Listen. So, and that's what it was. So Alec and I decided, let's act like, from the original fight, let's act like we're not in a showmance, we're not talking. And we stopped talking cold turkey. Then I was like, is people believing this? Because this looks so fake. How do you go from such a strong showmance to cold turkey? So I'm
You
like,
can go home. That's what's surprising, though.
So I'm like, people aren't gonna really believe this. But then I'm hearing that you guys are kind of believing it. So I'm like, talk, like, you know, we gotta talk a little bit. And then so he starts saying like random stuff like, oh, I'm eating an orange. Or, do you like my tort? Just random stuff like that. So it looks like it's not just bam, smack, cold turkey.
I mean, that can be too hard to do.
And that's because we didn't go through the POV ceremony yet, and we don't want
Gamble.
Gary to come, and we don't want to be on the block together. And especially if we're on the block together, we know who would go home if me and Alec were on the block. Alec.
Exactly. That's an
because Andrew's not stupid to be like, I'm gonna avenge AJ. Fuck, I feel like I need to avenge AJ because AJ was one of my closest friends in the house.
I know.
So I feel like I need to avenge AJ. You know.
My best friend.
So I understand where Andrew's coming from, but Andrew's a better game player than that to be like, I'm gonna get Topaz out, and we know Topaz and AJ are gonna be hanging out in Toronto for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? Yeah. Alec will go home. Alec is scared. Emmett's obviously scared. You know what I mean?
It makes sense.
So they don't want to take chances. Yeah, Emmett's making the deals with Andrew. Alec's making his deals with Andrew, but they're scared because Andrew has all the power, and if Andrew wants to make a power move, he can. So the best thing is for Alec to look like we severed ties, and we're not talking, so that Andrew thinks that he's done with me forever, and Alec is safe. And even if I do end up, like if I'm on the block with Gary and I do end up going home, then it's not like, oh, let's get out Alec next. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, now he's not in a showmance anymore. Yeah. Now he doesn't have that solid person.
Yeah,
and
on Peter.
And he has Peter, but Peter's not really doesn't win.
We're on the same page in terms of physicality.
I won an HOH. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And I killed him in that POV. Yeah. Like, he's Mr. Glass. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a female, but I'm more physical.
Way more.
Physical than him in competitions, and I've won mental competitions.
He's been playing in how many too also?
And I've been...
That was what your... Peter's played in more competitions than
I've only been in two POVs, and I've done good in both POVs. And I gave that POV to Tom mainly because Tom really wanted it to take Gary off the block. So I hit out Liza or whatever, and then he was like, give it to me. And I was like, okay, I don't care. Like, I know I'm safe. Take it. I'm not fighting for my life. The only time I was fighting for my life is honestly in that hard-ass competition that I did well in.
Don't fucking remind me. I failed.
So it's like, you know, we don't want to. But then it's like, I get it. We're acting like we're not in the showmance, like blah, blah, blah. But wouldn't that then, if that's the case, but listen, but you don't know. But you don't know though, and I'm going based off a friend, like a friendship. You don't know that, like, what's going on. So I'm going based off of Talla, like if this was a real showmance breakup.
That's like exactly what I thought it was. I'm like, no, I don't think you guys are actually done. But then it seemed like it last 2 days.
I know, because we're doing a good fucking job, right? We're playing a game here. And it's like...
But I have no reason to get any more closer to him that wouldn't get any more closer to you. How many girls are fucking left in the game?
No, I know, but I feel like because I'm on the block, you're avoiding me, and then you're attaching yourself to him.
I know, but I don't need to attach myself to him, because at the end of the day, the block is going to be one of our friends in the house, and it's going to suck, but he's not... But I feel, regardless if you're in the block or not,
And I don't care if you,
still my
no,
friend.
listen, I don't even care if you attach yourself with him, but it's when you bring
You
it to the
attach to people?
bed unnecessary.
I know, that looks
like
bad,
that,
but
exactly.
I do not want you to think that that's me.
But it's just hard because, I know,
it's
just hard because, like, I'm seeing the little attachments which I don't care about. I'm like, this is good for the game. Go
But
flirt
I'm
it.
closer with Andrew than I am with Alec.
Yeah, but I'm like, flirt it up with Talla, like, that's fine, but taking it to the bed is like, and when they're sick,
No,
and
I
I'm
know.
just saying everyone else in the house, just what it looks like. And even when I went to go talk to Jillian and Emmett, they're just like, are you okay? Yeah, that looks like so bad. Like, and Jillian was like, I have to take blame for it, but when I think about it now, yeah, that does look bad. But especially just walking in and you guys are both there.
But I was sleeping like to my corner and he had his wall up
I know,
and I was in the
but
corner.
do you know how it's when you see 6 empty
You think I'm gonna sleep in an empty bed by
beds?
myself? I'm sleeping in it tonight, obviously.
No, but I said, but all this time you've been sleeping in an empty bed.
I just
You
watched the
I
scariest
know,
movie.
You
I just keep opening my eyes in my bed, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
You watched the scariest movie.
And he should have never fucking creeped on the bed. I was sleeping, and then he jumped in my bed. I was like, fuck!
Yeah.
You can't do that to me.
Yeah, you watched a scary movie, but at the same time, we were
Trust
here
me.
for 30-something days, and I think you're the only person who hasn't had a bed partner since AJ. AJ fucking traumatized you.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
I know. So you know me for that long, and telling you exactly
And that's
why
why-
it is I went to the bed. I would not want you. But because you guys are in this situation, I see it. I see why you think like that.
And it's not to say you were soothing to me at all. I'm on only slop. I'm dying.
And I feel like you've been, I'm saying,
And can you imagine being on slop and being on the block
No,
with a close friend?
I thought about that.
I'm on slop with no 2 items, nothing.
With your friend.
With my friend.
I know. That's hard.
I'm in a shitty mood, and then I got into a fight with my showmance. We patched it up, and we're doing this whole acting like we're not. So I can't even be comforted by him because he has to be away from me. So it's hard. It's hard for me.
Yeah, mentally, of course it's hard. But even with knowing that, I mean, no, I know what you're saying and I hear what you're saying. I don't want you to think that I have no reason to, I'm not trying to scoop up anyone in this game. I haven't done it back then, and I'm not going to do it now. I have no reason to. When it comes to being attached to someone, well, in what way? Like game way? Like I'm friends with everyone.
I'm just saying is all. I just didn't. If you were giving a little equalness, if you were showing me some love, showing him some love, I would have been better.
And I know that because I haven't been talking so much, but I feel like the last couple days, I'm like, why isn't she coming around? And then today, when we were still watching the movie, like, how was the mood? I mean, but you haven't been around. Like today, like you weren't even by. I'm like, okay, but I asked 2-3 times, where's Topaz? Sleeping. Okay.
I feel.